Welcome everyone on a virtual NewsOut conference. Because most of us are staying in our homes, let's pretend we are on some exotic island. Actually, I wish that my home university, which is Lodz University of Technology, was located in such place. The actual reason I'm showing you this picture is that together with my PhD students Marta Więckowska, we are going to talk about islands. Unfortunately, these are not real islands, but the Oxide islands in antiresonant VCSELs. Let's consider a classical VCSEL structure with a resonant cavity, top and bottom DBR, as well as top contact, bottom contact, active region, and outer oxide. This is classical. However, what is special about this structure is that it is possible to create an additional oxide layer inside either of the cavity or top DBR. This additional oxide layer is called an oxide island. In my talk, I'm going to analyze the impact of this island on the optical field in the laser or of the current flow. Even without such island, large aperture VCSELs suffer from the current crowding effect. This effect is the stronger is input current. If we put the oxide island close to the cavity, we can see that it actually almost fully blocks the input current. Here in this figure, you can see the current distribution of an oxide island VCSEL. When the island has a radius of 2.5 micrometer and the outer aperture has radius of 5 micron. If we increase the island to match the outer aperture, you can see that almost the whole current is located at the edge. If we increase it even further, you can see that the current is almost totally blocked. If we move the island a little bit farther from the laser to the 6 dBr part, you can see that the similar effect is present. However, it is much weaker. If we move it even farther to the 12 dBr part, you can see that the current crowding still occurs. However, the impact of the island is minor. In all these figures, you could observe the impact of the oxide island for 3 radius: 2.5 microns, 5 microns, and 15 microns. In the last case, you can see that the current density distribution is almost the same as in the case of no oxide island at all. Luckily, for islands located in the 12 dBr parts, the carrier diffusions make that the gain distribution is almost uniform in the quite large current or input voltage range. For this reason, we consider oxide island located near the 12 dBr par. After completing electrical analysis, we have computed threshold current for different oxide island positions and locations. Here in this slide, you can see the threshold current for an island located in the 15 dBr par. You can see that it almost monetically decreases as the island becomes larger and larger. If we move the island a little bit closer to the 30 dBr part, you can see that at least for the LP02 mode, some oscillations appear. For the island in the 12 dBr part, you can see that these oscillations are stronger, and in particular for the island size equal to the aperture size of the VCSELs, the threshold current of the LP02 mode increase. Moving the island closer to the 11 par makes this effect even stronger, and also the similar effect appears for other modes like LP211. Moving the island even closer, which is the 10 dBr part, this is very obvious that this effect is present for all the modes but the LP01. What's interesting is that the LP02 mode also shows some additional maxima and minima. The last position we consider is the island located in the 9th dBr part. Here you can see that the oscillations are strong, and actually all the modes has a large increase of the threshold current for the island of the size approximately the same as the outer aperture regions. Furthermore, the LP02 mode shows the larger oscillations, and it has a second large threshold increase for the island of the size about 5 micrometers in radius, and also has some strong decrease for 7.6 micrometers in radius. The question is, what is the origin of these strong oscillations, which resembles kind of the wave? The simplest explanation is overlap between the gain in the active region and the actual optical mode distribution. However, if we consider the island position when the oscillations are the strongest, which is the 9th dBr part, and compute the overlap integral between the gain in the active region and the optical mode distribution, we can see that there is no correlation with the threshold current at all. Actually, for the island's diameter close to the 10th microns, when the threshold current increases for all the modes, we can see no strong decrease of the overlap factor, or even you can see a slight increase. Furthermore, when the overlap factor decreases for the LP02 mode, which is for the Oxide island close to the 7.5 diameter, this is the place when the threshold current increases. If we summarize all the investigated island positions and island sizes and all the modes, we can see that there is actually an unexpected positive correlation between the threshold current and overlap factor. This means that the decrease of the overlap factor does not cause increase of the threshold current. This means that the cause of the oscillations presented in the previous slides must be something different. To understand this, let's consider the island located in the 10th dBr part, and let's see at the mode profiles for LP01, LP02, LP11 and LP21 modes. Here you can see the profiles for the modes with no Oxide island at all. For the island diameter close to the 6 microns, you can see that LP02 modes have two maxima, one of each is located very close to the outer aperture. This corresponds to the increase of the threshold current of this mode. If we increase the island to the place when the LP02 mode has decreased in the aperture, you can see that the shape of this mode changed. Actually, the most of the light of this mode is located in the axis of the laser, and almost no light is located outside of the aperture. However, all the other modes are very close to the aperture of the lasers, which contributes to the slight increase of the threshold of these modes. If we increase the island to the size where all the higher order modes has a strong increase of the threshold, we can see that all these modes has large amount of the energy located either outside or very close to the aperture of the lasers. The only difference is for the LP01 mode, which has the most of the energy located very close to the axis of the lasers. This is actually the main cause of the strong increase of threshold of these modes, because the location of the light energy outside of the aperture relates to the increase of the optical losses and the decrease of the photon lifetime of all these modes. These oscillations can be used to achieve single mode operation of the laser. If we consider difference between the threshold of the lowest threshold mode and the next lowest threshold mode, we can see that this difference can reach 100% difference for the island diameter near 10 micron. It is important to point out that this difference is computed without considering the special Hall burning effect. If we take a look at the gain distribution without the Hall burning effect considered and with it considered, we can see that there is a huge difference between them. With this effect considered, we could obtain the single mode operation up to 2.9 milliwatts, which occurred at the current of 3.75 milliamps. What limits the single mode operation is the temperature distribution of the active region. As you can see here, there is the distribution from 3.75 milliamps and 15 milliamps. Such high temperature for the high-end current causes strong thermal lensing effect, which has a similar effect on the effective index of the laser as the Oxide island. To summarize, I have analyzed a novel design of a VCSEL with an Oxide island located in the top dBr, and I have analyzed its effect on the current distribution in the laser and the threshold current. The oscillations of the threshold current are mainly caused by the impact of the Oxide island on the mode distributions of the lasers. Thank you for your attention.